So now we're going to begin by morphing the same pill shape of this fox into another animal. So I'm going to select our full shape, and I'm just going to hold down Option and click and drag it so I can create a copy of it. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to get rid of these scales, these little fur indentation things here that we made just for texture. We're going to delete those. We can probably keep his feet, but his body that creates his face we won't need. And we probably will not be using this tail. So as you can see, I mean, even here you can see that you can turn this into a bear or a bunch of other different animals. It could be a dog, just by changing up probably a couple of the shapes and the colors. So I'm going to be working on a raccoon now. So raccoons have a bit of a more rounded out ear. So let's bring those in a little bit. Just select the rectangle, go to this point right here and drag down, and that creates the circle for you in your live shapes. We're going to actually be using like a dark gray, maybe a little lighter than that. Okay, and the body's going to be in the same light gray. His nose we could probably leave like that, but this, yeah, for now we can just leave that like that. And then his little feet. So we're going to go back to our technique of drawing inside. And raccoons have a little bit of that bandit look. That's kind of how they're depicted. So we're going to go in here and go to Draw Inside. We're going to click outside of that to deselect. We're going to go to our rectangle tool. And we're just going to create a band, and let's do that in black actually. We're going to create a band that's going to go right over the eyes, just like that. And then I don't want it to just be a straight band like that, although it is cute. But we can go to here to Object, Envelope Distort, Make with Warp. And that's going to give us different, if you can see here, there's arc. You can do bulge. There's just shell lower. It's just by moving around a lot of these vertical, horizontal sides, you can create a bunch of different characters this way as well. There's wave, as you can see, that makes him a little funky. But for now, I think I'm going to use the squeeze, and I'm just going to move the slider over. I'm going to move the slider in, actually, the bend further this way, just to create like that band. I'm going to click OK. I'm actually going to move it up a little bit because I want it more over the eyes, less over the nose. So once I'm happy with where I have it, I'm going to go back to Draw Normal. And let's see. Yeah, I think that looks good. He actually doesn't need that rectangle nose, and his eyes now are going to be a lighter gray, like that. Maybe just a little darker. I'm sorry, I get a little nuts when it comes to my animals. We can give him like a little button nose. That's more like a raccoon. And I'm not sure about this pink in here. Maybe this will be like a nice light gray. Okay, perfect. So for the tail, we're going to drag the ellipse tool. And raccoons have a fuzzy tail, kind of like the fox does. But let's see. Just going to make it maybe longer. Send that to the back, see how it looks. Yep, I think I like how that looks. I can make it a little narrower, but y'all get the idea. So it's going to be the same color as the body. And as you can see, I'm not really happy the way it's joining here. Okay, but I can sort that out later as well. So now we're going to draw on the inside of the tail to give the tail its stripes as well. So let's go to draw inside. I'm going to click outside here so we can deselect it. You always have to do that. If not, it just alters this shape and it won't let you draw inside. So always click away, and it'll still keep these marks on here, but this is what we're going to be drawing inside of. But if you stay with this selected, it won't draw inside the way you want it to. So always click out. So I'm going to go now to the brush, the paintbrush tool, and I'm going to select black as my fill color, and I'm just going to draw stripes. How cool is that? So it's just drawing, draw everywhere. There we go. So once you're happy with the way it looks, you can go back to draw normal, and there's your raccoon. There's just a bunch of other things you can do. You know, the raccoon can also have the belly, the same way we did the owl at the beginning. Or you can also make him where he maintains this pill shape, kind of the way we did with the fox. He can maintain this pill shape and just be square at the bottom. But I think I like the way he looks this way. So as you can see, with this pill shape, you can create a bunch of different animals. The possibilities really are endless. It's just you have to put a little bit of thought and imagination into it, and it'll come to you. So just study the way animals are illustrated and study the way they are depicted. And usually something's exaggerated. And, you know, as long as you maintain, you know, the actual look of the animal, like raccoons are always identified by this bandit look and their striped tails. And the fox will almost always have this face when depicted and the fuzzy tail. So as long as you stay within some of those elements, chances are that you're going to wind up with something that looks like that animal. So we'll see you in the next lesson.